Hi, good evening. I'd like to call the Zoning Board of Appeals for Tuesday, February 18th, 2020 to order. Will the city call the roll, please?
Ms. Defoe?
Here.
Mr. Friedman?
Here.
Mr. Rogers?
Here.
Mrs. Selesny?
Here.
Mr. Wygum?
Present.
Madam Chair, you have quorum to conduct business.
Thank you. Are there any communications?
If I might, to the chair, Mr. Gardella had a meeting conflict with another board and asked if the board would consider moving his two cases, which would be 20-01 and 20-02 to the end of the agenda.
Okay, thank you for that. So then let's move into our public hearing. For those of you who haven't joined us before, let me give you just a brief summary of how we conduct business. The city will call the case by the case number. They'll read a brief summary of the case. We ask you as the appellant to step to the podium. There is a sign-in sheet there if you'd sign in for us, your name and address, and then also state your name and address for the record. Then if you'll just briefly explain to us what you're asking for and why you're asking for it. Then the city will read the facts of the case. We'll ask you to agree with those or add anything at that time. And then we'll open it for public comment. If there's anybody from the public who wishes to speak on that specific case, that would be their opportunity to step forward. Then we'll close public comment, turn it over to the board, deliberate, possibly ask you additional questions. So if you could just stay in the front row during your case, we'd appreciate it. And then we'll make a decision on that case and then move on to the next case. Okay?
The city will
Yes.
also read their recommendation.
Oh, I'm sorry, there's also a city recommendation, which will also be read as part of the proceedings. So with that, will the city call the first case on the agenda, please?
For ZBA case 19-34, which is a tabled case, the appellant Ramil Yusupov, representing the owner, Harvard Row Plaza LLC, is requesting the following waiver from the board. Temporary use permit to place and use a mobile MRI unit at the site for a period of 1 year. Second request, the property is located at the northeast corner of 11 Lasser Roads at 21784 West 11 Mile, Sidwell parcel 2415353-021, zoned NS neighborhood shopping. The appeal is to section 5.198, article 23, chapter 45 of the Southfield City Code, more commonly known as the zoning ordinance.
I make a move that we remove it from table.
Thank you. Can I have a second to that motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And Madam Chair, yes, the appellant indicated today that he was unable to obtain a flight here and asked for the case to be postponed to a date certain, which would be the March 17th meeting.
Okay, can I have a motion to move the case to March 7th? I'm sorry.
17th.
17th, sorry.
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, well, the city so we're going to postpone 2001 and 2002 to the end of the meeting, so the city call the next case.
Case 19-33, the appellant Joe Lawson of Consumers Energy, representing the owner, 25900 West 8 Mile LLC, is requesting the following from the board. Temporary use approval for storage and staging of utility equipment and materials for a period of 1 year. Second request. The property is located at the northwest corner of 8 Mile and Beach Roads at 25900 West 8 Mile Road, Sidwell parcel 2431479-003, Zone B3 General Business and R1 Single Family Residential. This appeal is to section 5.198, subsection 2, paragraph 3, article 23, chapter 45 of the Southfield City Code, more commonly known as the zoning ordinance.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Got to move right up to the top of the agenda.
Look at
that. Here this evening, as was mentioned, we were here.
I'm sorry, can you state your name and address for the record,
My
please?
name's Joe Lawson, here on behalf of Consumers Energy. Our address is 1 Energy Plaza, Jackson, Michigan, 49201. As we mentioned, about a year ago, we were here before the ZBA to request the initial permit for this location. Basically, what it rounds out to be is it's a staging yard for our construction crews, in particular our natural gas service lines that run through the community. We have a program where we obviously go through and maintain and replace these pipelines as necessary. And these staging crews obviously help because then we're closer to the work. It makes it more efficient. We can get the jobs done quicker. And basically work it out with our unions because obviously then the guys aren't driving all over the state. Per your ordinance, we had to come back after 1 year if the board agrees. We'd like to ask and request another year. We have that much more work to do. And if, like I said, as far as I'm aware, the city hasn't received any complaints about our use of the site. I haven't received any complaints from the city or from the community. We have no issue with the conditions that were laid out last year, and if possible, we'd like to continue under those same conditions.
Okay, thank you. Will the city read the findings of fact, please?
For ZBA case 1933, the appellant, Joe Lawson of Consumers Energy, representing the owner 25900 West 8 Mile LLC, is requesting the following from the board. Temporary use approval for storage and staging of utility equipment and materials for a period of 1 year. Second request. The property is located at the northwest corner of 8 Mile and Beach Roads at 25900 West 8 Mile Road, Sidwell parcel 24314790003, Zone B3 General Business in R1 Single Family Residential. The subject property is developed with traffic management. The properties to the north are zoned RE Single Family Residential and are undeveloped properties fronting Shiawassee Road and 2 homes fronting Rouge Court. The properties to the south across 8 Mile Road, located within Redford Township, are zoned light industrial and are developed with a BP gasoline station and PF Markey Incorporated. The property to the east across Beach Road is zoned NS Neighborhood Shopping and is developed with the United Center Shopping Plaza. The properties to the west are zoned I-1 Industrial, P Vehicular Parking, and R2 Single Family Residential, and are developed with the Action Impact Gun Range and single-family homes fronting Waketon Street, respectively. The total site contains 11.19 acres of land with 445 feet of frontage on 8 Mile Road and a depth of 768.31 feet along Beach Road. ZBA case 19-03 was approved on March 5th, 2019 for a 1-year temporary use approval consisting of a temporary storage and staging area of utility equipment and materials needed for ongoing utility maintenance and replacement in the area for Consumers Energy. In accordance with the conditions of case 19-03, the appellant applied for the second 1-year temporary use approval in November 2019 prior to expiration of the first approval. The approved and implemented site plan indicates a 235 by 440 foot or 2.37 acre temporary yard for use by Consumers Energy. Fencing has been installed to delineate and secure the area and will be removed after the conclusion of the temporary use. Items included for storage include project trailer and generator, Consumers Energy pickup and job trucks, dump trucks, loader, skid steer, excavators, backhoes, boring equipment and welding rigs, equipment storage trailer, dumpster, sandstone, backfill, and topsoil, pipe fittings, and porta potties. Work hours and usage are 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. on Saturdays. The site is manned with security during all non-working hours and on weekends and holidays. All inbound and outbound traffic utilizes an existing driveway located at the north end of the site off Beach Road as indicated on the approved site plan. As of today's date, no complaints have been made to the city regarding the temporary use. The appellant is aware that this is the last 1-year approval that may be requested. If this request is approved, the appellant is aware that the temporary use must be discontinued and the site must be restored to its prior condition prior to, and this should be February 18th, 2021, I would imagine. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. Do you agree with those facts?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything else you'd like to add at this point?
No, ma'am, I think that sums it up.
Okay, will the city read the staff recommendation, please?
Staff's recommendation is to approve with the following conditions. The temporary use approval is good for 1 year from today's date. The temporary use must be discontinued and the site must be restored to its prior condition before February 18th, 2021. This includes, but may not be limited to, repair of the sidewalk spanning the existing driveway if needed, and replacement of trees along Beach Road requiring removal to gain access to the site. The gravel drive approach shall be removed and restored with top seed topsoil, seed, and mulch. All other original conditions of ZBA case 19-0003 must continue to apply. Staging area may not extend beyond the limits as indicated on the proposed site plan. The sidewalk spanning the driveway must be reinforced to the same depth as the existing sidewalk and score lines to be matched with the existing sidewalk. The site must be restored to its prior condition after conclusion of the staging area usage, including repair of the sidewalk spanning the existing driveway if needed and replacement of trees along Beach Road. The gravel drive approach shall be removed and restored with topsoil, seed, and mulch. The fencing must be black vinyl coated, 6 feet in height with matching gate in accordance with our fence ordinance and must be removed by Consumers Energy after the conclusion of the staging area usage. A placard readable from the exterior of the fenced area must be installed on the fence, indicating name and phone number of a contact responsible for access to the site if needed. Work areas and usage are limited to 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday and 7 a.m. to 3:30 on Saturdays. The required gate must remain secured on off hours, and the appellant is to contact the fire department to determine requirements regarding fire department required access. All site lighting must be shielded properly and directed downwards as to minimize adverse effects on the surrounding properties. All inbound and outbound Consumers Energy traffic must utilize the existing driveway on the north side of the site as indicated on the site plan. If any complaints are made or issues arise from activity at the site, the appellant will be required to appear back before this board to discuss how the issues will be mitigated. This recommendation is based upon the following. Proposed temporary use has not and will continue to not adversely affect the character of the area or is injurious to the surrounding neighborhood, nor contrary to the spirit and purpose of the zoning ordinance. The proposed site improvements will continue to provide adequate protection to abutting uses, especially since there are substantial buffers over 100 feet between the existing staging area and the residential properties to the west and north, and because of the safeguards and conditions that the city has required as part of this case, and no complaints have been made regarding the temporary use and conditions of the original approval, have been met thus far.
Thank you. Anything else you want to add, or else we can turn it over to public comment?
No, ma'am, I think.
Okay, so we'll open public comment on this case. If there's anybody who wishes to speak to this case, this would be your opportunity to step forward and be heard. If not, we will close public comment and turn it over to the board. Mr. Friedman?
I don't think I have anything to add. I'm okay with it.
Okay, Ms. Leslie?
Yeah, the same. I'm okay with it.
Okay, Mr. Weigum?
Who owns this property? Do you own that property? Does Consumers?
We do not own it. We lease it or license it from the current property owner, who's a gentleman actually that resides out in California. I can get their name for you.
Oh, that's okay. And so at the end of this period, you don't need it anymore?
No, our plan is to have all of the maintenance work that we have scheduled completed this upcoming construction season for this particular area.
So you won't need it at all?
We won't need it after this point.
Okay. No, I don't have any problem with it.
All right, Mr. Rogers?
I don't have any problem with it either.
Okay, I agree. I do not either. Mr. Rogers, will you make a very long motion for us, please?
Okay, regarding ZBA's case number 19-33, the appellant Joe Lawson of Consumers Energy representing the owner 25900 West 8 Mile LLC is requesting the following from the board: a temporary use approval for storage and staging of utility equipment and materials for a period of 1 year. Second request, the property is located at the northwest corner of 8 Mile and Beach Road at 25900 West 8 Mile Road, Sidwell parcel 2431479003. I make a motion to approve this second request with the following conditions. This temporary use approval is good for 1 year from today's date. The temporary use must be discontinued and the site must be restored to its prior condition before February 18th, 2021. This includes but may not be limited to repair of the sidewalk spanning the existing driveway if needed, and replacement of trees along Beach Road requiring removal to gain access to the site. The gravel drive approach shall be removed and restored with topsoil, seed, and mulch. All other original conditions of ZBA case number 19-0003 must continue to apply. The staging area may not extend beyond the limits as indicated on the proposed site plan. The sidewalk spanning the driveway must be reinforced to the same depth as the existing driveway, and score lines must be matched with the existing sidewalk. The site must be restored to its prior condition after conclusion of the staging area usage, including repair of the sidewalk, spanning the existing driveway if needed, and replacement of trees along Beach Road requiring removal to gain access to the site. The gravel drive approach shall be removed and restored with topsoil, seed, and mulch. The fencing must be black vinyl coated, 6 feet in height, with matching gate in accordance with our fence ordinance, and must be removed by Consumers Energy after the conclusion of the staging area usage. A placard readable from the exterior of the fenced-in area must be installed on the fence, indicating the name and phone number of a contact responsible for access to the site if needed. Work areas and usage are limited to 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. on Saturdays. The required gate must remain secured on off hours, and the appellant is to contact the fire department to determine requirements regarding fire department required access. All site lighting shall be shielded properly and directed downwards as to minimize adverse effects on surrounding properties. All inbound and outbound Consumers Energy traffic must utilize the existing driveway on the north side of the site as indicated on the site plan. If any complaints are made or issues arise from activity at the site, the appellant will be required to appear back before this board to discuss how the issues will be mitigated. This motion I am basing upon the following. The proposed temporary use has not and will continue to not adversely affect the character of the area or injurious to the surrounding neighborhood, nor contrary to the spirit and purpose of the zoning ordinance. The proposed site improvements will continue to provide adequate protection to abutting uses, especially since there are substantial buffers over 100 feet between the proposed staging area and residential properties to the west and north, and because of the safeguards and conditions that the city is requiring as part of this case. And lastly, no complaints have been made regarding the temporary use, and conditions of the original approval have been met thus far.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Your request is granted. Will the city call the next case, please?
For ZBA case 19-35, the appellant Warren Hudson of Friedman Management Company, representing the owner, Southfield Galleria Owner LLC, is requesting the following from the board: a variance of 32 feet of rear yard setback, 81.67 feet required, 49.7 feet proposed, for the construction of a building addition. The property is located at the northwest corner of the Northwestern Highway Service Drive and Case Avenue at 200 Galleria, Sidwell parcel 2417176008, zoned RC Regional Center. This appeal is to section 5.194, Article 22, Chapter 45 of the Southfield City Code, more commonly known as the zoning ordinance.
Thank you. Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Warren Hudson on behalf of Southfield Galleria Owner LLC. My address is 34975 West 12 Mile Road, Farmington Hills. Also with me this evening is Jerry Pesic, our attorney. Before going into all the details of our request, I just want to give you guys kind of a high-level overview of the Galleria project and our history with the property. Friedman took over the Galleria buildings about 5 years ago, and we've really worked tirelessly to transform those buildings from 40% occupied, tired 1980s buildings to world-class buildings to attract, premier tenants that would benefit us as well as the city of Southfield. To that end, we're currently working with a Fortune 500 company whose name you would all recognize to relocate their Michigan operations to Galleria 200. They would bring approximately 1,800 jobs with them, and they will take the entirety of the 200 building, part of the 100 building, as well as the proposed research and design center that's before you this evening. As I mentioned, one of the requirements for this company to relocate here is the construction of a single-story research and development building adjacent to the existing buildings. We've worked diligently with city staff, the planning department, and city council to design a research and design building that not only fit our tenants' needs, but really would blend in nicely to the existing property and be, visually compatible and attractive. To that end, we came up with what I think is a great site plan. It matches the building, and it seems like it's part of the site. It looks like it was built with the buildings. In order to construct the new building, we're seeking relief of the required setback on the north side of the property. You'll notice on the site plan that the building follows the setback line on the south and west elevations pretty much perfectly. Unfortunately, though, because of the nature of the property and the layout of the buildings on the property, constructing a single-story building with the required number of truck docks and access doors would be virtually impossible without the relief that we've requested just because of the layout. The Galleria property does present itself as a unique situation because the properties are incredibly long, but they're not very deep. The property was developed as a regional center, so all 5 buildings, the Galleria properties as well as the theater, share parking, common landscaping, and site features. So to that end, if you were an observer on the property, you really wouldn't know where the lot lines are. It sort of blends together. The variance that we're requesting will have no negative impact to our property or any neighboring properties. And granting this variance will allow us to attract this once-in-a-lifetime tenant to our building and to the city as a whole. Strict compliance with the setback requirement would represent a practical hardship and difficulty because of the layout of the site and, again, the requirements that they have for this building. So, in summary, I think there definitely would be practical difficulties and undue hardship if we had to develop this property with strict compliance to the ordinance. There's no other properties that share a common lot line with this building, so really, from a practical standpoint, there's going to be no conflict between this new building and the theater or any of the other buildings, and there'll be a substantial benefit to the community if we can proceed with this plan.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Will the city read the findings of fact, please?
For ZBA case 19-35, the appellant Warren Hudson of Friedman Management Company, representing the owner, Southfield Galleria Owner LLC, is requesting the following from the board: variance of 32 feet of rear yard setback, 81.67 feet required, 49.7 feet proposed for the construction of a building addition. The property is located at the northwest corner of Northwestern Highway Service Drive and Case Avenue at 200 Galleria, Sidwell parcel 2417176008, zoned RC Regional Center. The property is currently developed with a 4-story, 200 Galleria Office Center building. Properties to the north are zoned RC Regional Center and are developed with parking lots for both the Star Theater and 300 Galleria Office Center buildings. Properties to the east and to the west across Case Street are zoned RC Regional Center and are developed with the 100 Galleria Office Center building and the Meade Lexus Automotive dealership respectively. The property to the south across the I-696 freeway, Northwestern Highway, is zoned ERO, Education Research Office, and are developed with public works yards belonging to the city of Southfield and the Road Commission for Oakland County. The site contains 11.99 acres of land with 1,144.15 feet of frontage on Northwestern Highway and a depth of 806.31 feet. The recently approved site plan indicates the construction of an 85,525 gross square foot research and development center building addition. The parking required for the proposal is 3,710 spaces, with 4,313 spaces provided. The landscaping provided exceeds what is required. The building elevations reflect a mix of masonry, metal panels, and glass to complement the existing building.
Great, thank you. Do you agree with those facts?
I do.
Okay, is there anything else you want to add at this point?
No, I think we're good. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good. Will the city read the staff recommendation, please?
Staff's recommendation is that the variance requested be approved based upon the following. Proposed setback variances will have minimal adverse effects on the surrounding properties, especially since the addition will be adjacent to large-scale parking lots on commercial properties to the north, which are separated from the subject property by minimum 20-foot wide landscape buffer strips, providing adequate open space. And the proposed rear yard setback variance will not negatively impact required on-site parking or traffic circulation, nor will it obstruct or negatively impact site functionality. No other variances are required for the proposed addition.
Okay, thank you. Anything else you'd like to add, or we can turn it over to public comment?
No, I think we can.
Okay, so we will open this case up for public comment. If there's anyone here from the public who wishes to speak on this case, please step forward. Okay, seeing none, we'll close public comment and turn it over to the board. Mr. Rogers?
I I didn't even know that there was a big tenant proposed to move in there. I just was looking at the building itself, and I think it's really beautiful. And then seeing the addition on it, based on the site plan, it looks like it's just a continuation of the elevation. And everything, I agree with the city's findings regarding the parking and the landscape buffers. So, you know, I'm approving of this.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Weigum?
It is a beautiful building, and I have had no reason, I guess, to ever drive back there. I didn't realize how large an area that is, magnificent. And just out of curiosity, you said that there were 40% when you purchased. What is it now?
They've gone up and down. Right now, we're probably closer to that number because we've been relocating tenants out of those buildings to make way for this large tenant. So, but once this tenant in, we'll be in the 85% range.
Oh, that's good. Also, out of curiosity, how many people are employed in that complex?
Currently or in the future? I don't know that we have a current count, but what's interesting is a lot of the space in the 200 building that we've been relocating was data facilities, so a lot of computers and a lot of server facilities as opposed to bodies. But when we're all said and done, when this company brings their 1,800 people there, the density of bodies per square foot in that building will actually be less than if it was like a call center or a similar use. So we're not over-densifying the property, for lack of a better term.
Well, I think it's a very nice complex, and Southfield is proud to have you for this.
All right, thank you. Ms. Selesny?
Yeah, I agree with the findings of the city and my colleagues.
All right, thank you. Mr. Friedman?
I have no issues with it. I think the only entity that should have any issue at all would be the Star Theater, and they don't seem to have any issues with it, so
Great. My only question was, do you expect to have an additional signage request, or do you think your signage required for the new company would fit within the current ordinance for that property?
So actually, you may recall, I appeared before this board several years ago. We have a master signage plan for the entire property. So I think our intention right now is that we would comply with that master signage plan. If we needed to change that, we'll appear before you again, but they have not brought up any additional signage beyond what would be allowed.
Okay. All right, then I don't have any questions or issues either. Mr. Friedman, would you make a motion for us?
Sure. The appellant Warren Hudson of Friedman Management, representing the owner, Southfield Galleria Owner LLC, is requesting a variance of 32 feet of rear yard setback, 81.67 feet required, 49.7 feet proposed for the construction of a building addition. Property is located at the northwest corner of Northwestern Highway Service Drive and Case Avenue at 200 Galleria. Sidwell parcel number 24171760008. I move that we approve the request based on the following: that the variance will have minimal adverse effects on the surrounding properties, especially since the addition will be adjacent to a large-scale parking lot and commercial properties to the north, which would be separated from the subject property by a minimum 20-foot wide landscape buffer strips and provide adequate open space. And it will not negatively impact the required on-site parking or traffic circulation, nor will it obstruct or negatively impact site functionality.
Great, thank you very much. Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Your request is approved.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. So let's move back on the agenda to case 2001, please.
For case 2001, the appellant Bobby Johnson, representing the owner Dorcas Abayomi, is requesting the following waivers from the board to construct an addition on the south elevation to an existing front yard, non-conforming setback, 40 feet required, 19 feet 6 inches proposed, and also to construct an addition on the east elevation. Front yard setback, which is non-conforming, 40 feet is required, 11 feet 7.5 inches is proposed, and also to construct an addition on the west elevation. Existing side yard setback, which is non-conforming, 25 feet required, 10 feet 8 inches proposed. The property is located on the west side of Seminole Street between Inkster Road and Poinciana Street at 21023 Seminole Street, Sidwell parcel 2431-351008, zoned R1 Single Family Residential. This appeals to Section 5.193, Article 22, Chapter 45 of the Southfield City Code, more commonly known as the zoning ordinance.
Thank you. Hi, good evening.
Good evening. My name is Bobby Johnson. I'm the appellant. First of all, regarding all of the variant requests, they are not correct now. We have redesigned, which you all do have. We have redesigned the site plan and the floor plans that more than comply with most of the variance requests. Specifically, number 3, on the west elevation, the 25 required to the 10-foot 8 has been pushed to 23-foot 8. As far as the east elevation, we redesigned it to where the existing nonconformity, the addition does not go any further than what's currently on the footprint. It's also parallel with every other house on that block on the same side. Also, with the south side, it is no longer 19-foot 6 proposed. It is a combined 30-foot 11 proposed, where you see the bump out on the proposed addition. Prior to, there was a different set of plans that was received by you all, and then we sent you all a new set that shows the new design to comply with the ordinances.
No.
So are these no good? Ed?
I'm sorry.
What you have,
No, he's saying that we
Yeah,
have
I
the
need you to
correct
stay
one.
at the
We have the
microphone,
correct one.
unfortunately, but,
yes, ma'am.
okay.
It's,
Yeah.
I think we do have
Yeah.
the correct one.
Yeah, it looks the
you
same.
have the correct ones, okay.
Okay.
So there is still a bump out on the south side?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. All right, do you have anything else you want to say, or we can move to the findings of fact?
Yes.
Okay, will the city read the findings of fact, please?
Yes, for ZBA case 2001, the appellant Bobby Johnson, representing the owner Dorcas Abayomi, is requesting the following waivers from the board. And at this point, I'm going to actually read the changes from the legal notice because the appellant is correct. The appellant came in and we sat down and with staff and discussed changes to the project to reduce the number of waivers required and the sizes required. Just a quick note, very pleasurable to work with the appellant. He went back and redesigned the property so that he could do that. So what I'm going to read to you now, instead of just reading again the original legal notice, I'm going to read you the changes that are the appropriate changes to the legal notice for what is being requested now. So, which is a change from the legal notice, and it's for 21 feet, 10.25 inches of front yard setback to construct an addition, and that's the south elevation. 40 feet is required. 18 feet, 1.75 inches is proposed. 21 feet, 10.25 inches of front yard setback to construct an addition on the east elevation. 40 feet required, 18.175 proposed, and for 1 feet, 4 inches of side yard setback to construct the addition on the west elevation. 25 feet required, 23 feet, 8 inches proposed, and for 28 feet, 4.5 inches to replace the previous legal non-conforming front porch. 40 feet is required, 11 feet, 7.5 inches is proposed. Property is located on the west side of Seminole Street between Inkster Road and Point Sienna Street at 21023 Seminole Street, Sidwell parcel 2431-351008, zoned R1 Single Family Residential. The properties to the north, east, south, and west are zoned R1 Single Family Residential and developed with single-family dwellings in the Oakland Meadows subdivision. The properties further north on Seminole are in the Grand River Crest subdivision number 1. Field inspections reveal that the surrounding dwelling exteriors are a mixture of brick and various siding materials. There are a mix of single and two-story dwellings in the surrounding area. Dwellings in this area have detached garages. There are a mixture of homes that were constructed prior to the incorporation of the city and more recent constructions that range from about 770 square feet in area to 2,000 square feet in area for the dwelling size. Surrounding homes' front yard setbacks range from the same as the appellant's along the west side of Seminole to a few at a greater setback, but are still non-conforming. Homes on the east side of Seminole and north of Emmett Street meet the front yard setbacks, but are non-conforming in other setback requirements. Subject home was built in 1919 and is 770 square feet in area, constructed with a sided exterior. The site is currently non-conforming due to a lack of front yard setback. 40 feet is required, 11 feet 7.5 inches is existing. The subject home is also non-conforming in regards to side yard setbacks along Emmett Avenue. 25 feet required, 10 feet 8 inches exists. The subject property is enclosed by a chain link fence. There is a tree on the south elevation that inhibits the location of additions on the southeast corner of the dwelling. The appellant owner is seeking the following waivers to expand an existing front yard setback. 40 feet is required, 18 feet 1.75 inches is proposed to construct an addition on the south elevation, as well as a side yard setback waiver for the same addition. 25 feet required, 23 feet 8 inches proposed. They are seeking a waiver for the front porch reconstruction at a lesser setback than is existing, but still non-conforming at 11 feet 7.5 inches and 40 feet is required.
Okay, thank you. Do you agree with those facts?
I do.
Okay, is there anything else you'd like to add at this point?
Nope, everything's been good.
Okay, will the city read the staff recommendation, please?
Staff's recommendation is for favorable consideration of the following waivers for 21 feet 10.25 inches of front yard setback to construct an addition on the south elevation. 40 feet required, 18 feet 1.75 inches proposed, 21 feet 10.25 inches of front yard setback to construct an addition on the east elevation. 40 feet is required, again, 18 feet 1.75 inches is proposed, and for 1 feet 4 inches of side yard setback to construct an addition on the west elevation. 25 feet is required, 23 feet 8 inches is proposed, and for a 28-foot 4.5 inch setback to replace a legal non-conforming front porch. 40 feet is required, 11 feet 7.5 inches is proposed, with the following conditions. The additions meet all requirements of the building code, and the garage is demolished as proposed. This recommendation is based on the following. The proposed addition is not extending any more than the existing dwelling's non-conforming front and side yard setbacks. The home was constructed prior to the incorporation of the city and a zoning ordinance. The proposed addition on the south elevation maintains a side yard setback without removing the existing tree, and the garage is dilapidated and doesn't meet setback requirements for an accessory structure.
Okay, thank you. Anything else you'd like to add at this point?
No, thank you.
Okay, so we'll open public comment on this case. If there's anyone from the public who wishes to speak on this case, please step forward at this point. Seeing none, we will close public comment and turn it over to the board. Ms. Lesney?
I'm glad to see that this house is going to be loved once again, and I think it's a very nice proposal that you have, and I'm in favor of it.
Thank you. Mr. Friedman?
I don't have any issues with it. I'm also glad to see that there's going to be a construction project there.
Great. Mr. Weigum?
This is a centennial house. You realize that, Ed?
Pardon?
This is a centennial house,
Really?
over 100 years old.
Yeah.
Does the city have any kind of historical,
Tax credits?
Yeah.
Or requirements, or?
right, anything to do with that?
If I might, through the chair, to Mr. Weigum, the way the historical sites are set up is actually within the ordinance for each individual site. I know council is working currently on revising that ordinance and how that's going to be treated. I know that was one of the things actually that the mayor brought up. But as it currently stands, no. There's specific historical sites within the city that are outlined in the zoning ordinance. For instance, if you remember the old Greyhound, well, the Greyhound bus site was the old, thinking of schoolhouse, right? The one at Lasser and 11. And then you have the log cabin, then you have McDonald House. See how many I can think of. But, so they are addressed individually within the zoning ordinance, but not as a group of centennial homes or anything like that.
Okay, thank you. The siding on the existing home, I assume was put on later. It looks like asbestos siding. Is that correct?
I believe so. That is getting taken down. And we will have new siding put up on it. So that is being addressed.
You're going to remove that, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you have to be careful
More
with
than
that.
yes, sir.
Yeah, you have to be careful with that.
Okay.
Do you have, right now, is there water in the building?
No.
Yeah.
When you say, do you mean,
Do you mean running water? or
No,
is
no
there water
running
I meant
damage?
pipe water inside, so that you could turn a faucet and get water?
no.
Well, I hope not, because your upper window is broken, and it's open to the elements. And I've had experience, unfortunately, with things like that. Your pipes will freeze and break.
Okay.
So do not turn on your water in your house until you've got those things fixed.
Right. Absolutely not.
You know, it's a unique little house. And I was very anxious to go over there and see a house that was built in 1919, and it's a little fella, and I assume that it was a small family that lived there. Ed, was this a territory then, or what was it?
No, it's just, if I might, through the chair, it was just an incorporated township is what it was, Southfield Township.
Southfield Township then?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You know anything about the history of this house, the people that used to live there or anything?
Unfortunately, I do not,
Yeah.
no.
It fascinates me, and anyway, I wish you luck on it, and I agree with Ms. Lesney. It's a nice addition.
All right, thank you. Mr. Rogers?
Yeah, I'm glad to see that in a day and age where homes that get dilapidated or blighted are just, earmarked for removal. In this case, it's being, like Mrs. Slesny said, revived and given new love, and the property has plenty of room to grow on it. And I do like the strategic way of avoiding that landmark tree. That's a very large tree,
Yes, it is.
so I wouldn't want to cut it down.
It's a beautiful tree.
Yeah, so I'm all for the approvals of these variances.
Great, thank you. My only question, I think, the third, with the very small setback, is that for the shed on the west elevation?
Yes, we are taking the shed out.
Okay. So you're tearing the garage down. Are you putting a shed back up there, or no?
Oh, wait, are you speaking of the?
It says vinyl shed on concrete on the drawing.
Oh, that is being demolished.
That's being removed.
Yes.
So what is the 1 foot 4 inches on the west elevation? It seems like he's really far from the property line.
Oh, that is 1 point, so when you look at it, you have the little bump out on that addition that extends it out. That's
Okay.
1.4 feet wide, I believe, isn't it?
It says 4 feet.
Okay, I've got to look at this.
I get confused by the west elevation, just because it seems like it's sufficient.
We said 1'4"?
Yeah, 1'4" of side yard setback. And so I was assuming that 1'4" was maybe related to the shed, but, I mean, you gotta be 50, the 35-foot required
We said.
is here,
So-
and then it's another 50 feet from there.
Right, on the west elevation, though, it says.
Am I the only one that noticed this?
West
Come on,
elevation is back here.
Jason, you always notice this
This is the
stuff.
west elevation. This is the north elevation.
I just figured it was just one other little piece.
Well, I don't wanna approve, I
No,
wanna
that
make sure we're
sheet-
approving what he
You are
needs.
absolutely correct. That is worded wrong, because the west elevation is the back
Right.
of the house.
Right.
Which doesn't require, oh, wait a minute, does it have, what's the setback? No,
Yeah,
the
once
setback from
once you
here-
add on to the west elevation, you're adding 4 feet on the west elevation, right?
Right.
Yes.
Now it's subject to the 25-foot rule.
But you have more
But
than
it's not
50.
25 feet, it's 23.8.
Right.
That's the 1'4" variance that he's asking for.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got you, but it's not the west,
It's not technically,
The
it's really
west
the
ele-
front, it's really the north.
it's really the north
the north
elevation.
setback. That's right.
Right.
Okay.
It is correct, so it
Okay.
really should be reworded to the word north, because you're not asking for a west side setback. There's none required on the west
Right,
side.
there's plenty of room on the west.
West,
It's
right.
really the north.
And the
Right, so you
east.
really should
Okay.
say that should be changed to north. That 1.4 should
Okay.
change to north,
That's right.
Okay,
because that's what the
And
setback
that's why,
is
and
up.
it's confusing when it's
Yes,
read the way
yes.
it is right now.
okay.
Yep. So this
I
is
was
the north.
confused.
This is the setback you're asking for, less than 25.
Okay, just want to make sure we're getting you, the right waivers, so. Okay, so I don't have any issues or questions. Happy to see the project. Thank you for doing it on this lovely area of Southfield, right in the little corner of the city, so. Anybody else have anything else? If not, Mr. Weigel, will you make a motion, please?
Sure. In regard to case 20-01, the appellant, Bobby Johnson, representing the owner, Dorcas Abayomi, is requesting the following waivers from the board. To construct an, let's see, how am I going to do this? Just go down, okay. For 20 feet, 10-25 inches of front yard setback, to construct an addition on the south elevation, 40 feet required, 18 feet, 1.75 inch proposed. For 21 feet, 10.25 inches of front yard setback, to construct an addition on the east elevation, 40 feet required, 18 feet, 1.75 proposed. For 1 foot, 4 inches of side yard setback, to construct an addition on the west elevation, 25 feet required.
That's the one that should be north. Sorry, that should be north.
On the north elevation, 25 feet required and 23.8 feet proposed, inches proposed. For 28-inch, 4.5 inch to replace a legal non-conforming front porch, 40 feet required, 7.5 feet inch proposed. The property is located on the west side of Seminole Street between Inkster Road and Poinciana Street at 20023 Seminole Street, Sidwell parcel 2431-351-4008, zoned R1, single-family residential.
Okay, I'm going to stop you just 1 second.
You may.
Because you actually, let's go back to the numbers on the address. If we're just 21023 Seminole Street, and then read the Sidwell parcel one more time, because you got an extra number in there.
2431-351-008.
Perfect.
I missed the
You
008?
threw a 4.
I threw a 4.
Ooh,
Doggone it.
Just hold on again, make sure we're getting you the accurate request.
I move that we allow this, and for a 20 feet, 10.25 of front yard setback, construct an addition on the south elevation, 40 feet required, 18 feet, .175 proposed. For 21 21 feet, my eyes are going, 10.25 inch of front yard setback to construct an addition on the east elevation, 40 feet required, 18 feet, 1.75 proposed. For 1 foot 4 inch of side yard setback to construct an addition on the north elevation, 25 feet required, 23 feet 8 inch proposed. For 28 feet 4.5 inch to replace a legal non-conforming front porch, 40 feet required, 11 feet 7.5 inch proposed. And these are the following conditions: that the addition meet all requirements of the building code, the garage is demolished as proposed, and this is based on the following: that the proposed addition is not extending any more than the existing dwelling's non-conforming front and side yard setbacks. The home was constructed prior to the incorporation of the city and a zoning ordinance. The proposed addition to the south elevation maintains the side yard setback without removing the existing nice tree. The garage is dilapidated and doesn't meet setback requirements for an accessory structure.
All right, thank you. Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Good luck with your project. Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much.
All right, will the city call the next case, please?
For ZBA Case 2002, the appellant Max Signage, Vincent McGowan, representing the owner, B&B Property Investments Incorporated, is requesting the following waiver from the board for a second wall sign along the 8 Mile Road frontage, 40 square feet in area, 1 permitted, 2 proposed. The property is located on the north side of West 8 Mile Road between Lasser Road and Evergreen Roads at 21794 and 21800 West 8 Mile Road, Sidwell parcels 2434, 353, 030, and 2434, 353, 032, zoned I-1 industrial. This appeals to Section 8.61, Article 12, Paragraph 1A, Chapter 99 of the Southfield City Code, more commonly known as the sign ordinance.
Thank you. Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Last but not least.
Yes.
You can state your name and
It's
address
good
for the
to be here.
record, please.
Vincent McGowan, 1704 Orchard Drive in Kenton, 48188.
Thank you. If you could explain to us, just give us a summary of what you're asking for and why, please.
Okay, I'm sure you guys looked at took a look at the drawings. We're proposing additional sign on the, which is the south elevation of front service building, which sets back further than the frontage. And the reason this signage is needed, of course, the building has a setback, and because of the traffic on 8 Mile, of course, you know, it's easy to ride by there very fast and not see it. Of course, it will have a sign on the front there, on the frontage part of the building, identifying the name. So they needed the service sign as vital for visibility, similar to what the dealerships have on Telegraph between 11 and 12 Mile, some type of service identification. I'm sure you guys are probably aware this building property has came, I believe, before you guys, possibly a year or so ago. They had some challenges getting open, and they spent quite a lot of money there to renovate the building there. United Towing is from Dearborn, and so as you know, the signage is very vital. Kind of surprised here with the ordinance here with the frontage. In most cities, the way I guess we allow 1 to 2 square foot per linear frontage. I've been in the industry a little over 40 years, but you know, because of the frontage there, it's only 55 feet of frontage, so they need the signage identification there very desperately. Just a service sign above the door. That's above the awning there in the door, overhead door. And like I said, it's similar to what dealerships have, you know, Tamaroff and different ones on Telegraph there between 11 and 12 Mile. Chevrolet dealer and a Chrysler dealer. It's kind of just a more stationary visibility signage to identify that building in the back there is a service building to service the vehicles.
Okay, sounds good. Will the city read the findings of fact, please?
Yes. For ZBA case 2002, the appellant Max Signage, Vincent McGowan, representing the owner, B&B Property Investments Incorporated, is requesting the following waiver from the board for a second wall sign along the 8 Mile Road frontage, 40 square feet in area. One wall sign is permitted, two are proposed. Property is located on the north side of West 8 Mile Road between Lasser and Evergreen Roads at 21794 and 21800 West 8 Mile Road. Sidwell parcels 2434-353-030 and 2434-353-032, zoned I-1 industrial. A change from the legal notice has been made after research on the parcel numbers. The correct parcel number is 2434-353-032, which includes both addresses 21794 and 21800 West 8 Mile Road. The address to be used after the lot combination, which they had a lot combination, is 21794 8 Mile Road. The site plan provided shows the addresses correctly. To the north, the property is zoned I-1 or IL industrial and is developed with the Southfield Research Park. To the south, across 8 Mile Road, the properties are within the city of Detroit and are developed with various commercial and retail uses. To the east and west of the properties are zoned I-1 industrial and are developed to the east with the Vibe Trucking and to the west with National Storage Centers. The subject property is currently developed with multiple buildings, which include storage and sales for Midwest Roofing Supply and United Auto and Collision. Multiple entrances to the parking exists along the 8 Mile Road frontage. The subject property is currently developed with a 2-story industrial building adjoining to a warehouse at the rear of the property. The multiple buildings at the site are at different setbacks, thus reducing the wall sign area to mount a contiguous wall sign that would maximize the allowance based on the building's frontages. The two buildings, Unit 3 and 4, at the site, which are connected at different setbacks, total 127 feet of frontage for wall signage. A survey of signage at the site reveals a 40 square foot in area temporary banner on Unit 3 and a directional sign for Midwest Roofing Supply on Unit 2. In the I-1 Industrial District, each tenant is permitted one wall sign at a ratio of 1 square foot of sign area per linear foot of building frontage, not to exceed 100 square feet in area. Signage must face the major thoroughfare. This tenant would be permitted one wall sign 100 square feet in area based on its 127 feet of frontage. United Auto and Collision is proposing a 48 square foot illuminated electronic changeable copy garden ground site located in the front of Unit 3 along the West 8 Mile Road frontage, and a waiver is not required and a permit is pending for that approval. A 55 square feet, and I just want to go back and make sure I say on the first 48 square foot illuminated electronic single color monochrome changeable copy garden ground sign, just to make that clear. A 55 square feet in area illuminated wall sign on Unit 3 building facade above the entrance, and again, a waiver is not required for that particular sign, and a permit is pending approval on that also. And the second 40 square foot in area, I think it is an illuminated sign. Is it an illuminated
Yes.
sign? It is, sorry. Instead of non-illuminated, it should be illuminated wall sign that says service on Unit 4 above the bay door.
All right, thank you. Do you agree with those facts?
Now, yes, let me say, the front sign, we calculated about 40 square feet with the United Auto and Collision, and so the service sign would only take up about 35 square feet. So I know in most cities, you normally allowed up to 100 square feet for wall signs. Well, we're in Western Wayne County, so we haven't done a lot in Oakland County, even though Farben and Friedman, we have connections with them, some of the companies, but we normally most cities where you're normally allowed, 50 to 100 square feet. Like I said, been in the industry. I worked for Bell Tire, a lot of Fortune 500 companies. Most cities allow up to 100 square feet. And this building is quite large, as you know, and so it's just a matter of identification. And that's why myself being the appellant, we are appealing this just nothing fancy, just, stationary signage for identification.
Sure.
And like I say, compatible to what the other dealers have, on Telegraph and between 11 and 12 mile.
Sure. Will city read the staff recommendation, please?
Staff's recommendation is to approve the waiver for a second wall sign along the West 8 Mile Road frontage with a square footage not to exceed 45 square feet in area, and that particular amount, plus the proposed illuminated wall sign, does take the appellant up to the full 100 square foot that is permitted for this building. So this building is permitted a 100 square foot of signage for the building. So the sign could actually be 5 square foot larger than what he has proposed. Or the other sign could be 5 square foot larger, but just a total between the two of 100 square feet. So staff's recommendation is to approve that second wall sign with the following conditions. The owner agreed to eliminate any prohibited sign types such as banners, balloons, balloon structures, portable signs of any type. Vehicles or persons displaying signs visible to the right-of-way or flags other than country or state designations as required by ordinance. The signage be as presented with this appeal, and any changes be brought back to this board for approval. The address listed on Unit 3 must be relocated to Unit 1 or 2, and the correct address of 21794 be added to Unit 3. And what I will say about that particular condition is that they need to work with the planning department to make sure that the buildings are addressed properly, because they are not addressed properly right now.
Now, Inspector Gardell, we installed a 21794 on the main building, the address. Because if
If I might, if I could get through this, and
Okay, all right.
you could discuss that with the planning department after
Okay.
the case.
All right, thank
This recommendation is based on the following. The additional wall sign area is modest in nature and would be permitted by ordinance if the two frontages were at the same setback, and the proposed sign directs vehicles to the service area of the business.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry for the interruption.
Yep, anything else you'd like to add in regards to this request at this time?
Well, I think that was it. My apology for the interruption there. Just making sure. I know we did mount an address up there last year on the main building on the left side, which I have photos of.
Okay.
Yes, from the left side. Matter of fact, I have the original prints.
Okay, so we just want to make sure that you have the right address that
Yes,
is
we have
related
that
to
on
the
the
fire
main-
department and the city
We took the
records.
21800 down.
Okay,
We
good.
removed that last fall, I believe it was, and we mounted the 21794, which I have pictures in the phone there.
Perfect,
but
that's all. We just want to make
it's
sure
there,
you have
yes.
the right address on
'Cause
the right building.
we were working with, I forgot the gentleman. John Sheehan, yes. You guys were working with Sheehan and the architect, and we just more or less followed the prints what the architect designed.
Okay, great. So let's open it up to public comment. Seeing no one in the room, we'll close public comment and turn it over to the board.
Yeah, I have a
Yeah,
question.
Mr. Wegum, you can go first.
Is it apropos? I mean, there's something in here that we don't have anything to do with. Do we need to read that? I mean, it's permitted. He comes for a permit. It doesn't come to the board.
Correct.
I think he was just letting us know.
If I might, through the chair to Mr. Wagam, I just wanted to let you know the breadth of signage that was going to be at the site so that you could consider that along with the additional wall sign. Yes, it is permitted, but it lets you know what's going to be at the site totally after the whole thing is done.
Okay, any other questions or thoughts?
No, I don't. It's a very, very large area.
Yes.
And you do need some signage to make
Yes.
sure you get your address correct.
Yes.
Great, Mr. Rogers?
Yeah, I agree. It's a very big building, and I think that you do need some extra signage, especially if there's service going on there. I mean, you do drive past it and miss it quickly.
Yeah.
So I'm all for it.
Great, thank you. Ms. Leslie?
I agree.
Mr. Friedman?
I'm all for it.
I agree as well. So, Ms. Leslie, you haven't made a motion for us tonight. Can I ask you to
Okay.
do this one?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. Regarding ZBA case 20-02, the appellant, excuse me, Max Signage, Vincent McGowan, representing the owner B&B Property Investment, is requesting a second wall sign along the West 8 Mile Road frontage, 40 square feet in area, 1 permitted, 2 proposed, to the property now located at 21794 West 8 Mile Road. Site plan provided with, shows the address correctly, which is 2434353-032. Is that correct?
Parcel number is 032.
Okay. I move that we grant the waiver for a second wall sign along the West 8 Mile Road frontage with a square footage not to exceed 45 square feet in area, with a total square feet of not to exceed 100 square feet with the other signs. The conditions are that the owner agrees to eliminate any prohibited sign types, banners, balloons, balloon structures, portable signs, and so forth, as required by ordinance. The signage be presented with this appeal, and any changes be brought back to this board for approval, and the address listed on Unit 3 must be relocated to Unit 1 or 2, and a correct address, 21794, be added to Unit 3. This motion is based on the fact that the additional wall sign area is modest in nature and would be permitted by ordinance if the two frontages were at the same setback, and the proposed sign directs vehicles to the service area of the business.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. So then you will need to work on permitting of this additional sign, okay?
Okay.
Thank you very
Yeah, well,
much.
the
Have a
family
good
has
night.
an interest in the old high-low auto part, so maybe they'll consider that for the future on 10 Mile there for a sign company and a sign school and awning company. So I look forward to maybe something possible in Southfield.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah,
Thank
The
you.
old high-low auto parts. Well, you guys know where it is. 10
Great.
Mile.
Thank you. Excellent. Have a good night.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. So next up on the agenda is approval of the minutes from November 19th, 2019. Does anybody have any changes?
I didn't.
I didn't see anything. Anybody see anything? Okay, can I have a motion?
No problem.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the minutes for November 19th, 2019?
I so move.
May I have a
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, and then we also have minutes from December 3rd. I also did not see anything on those. Anybody see anything?
I didn't either.
No, outstanding job on minutes then. Can I have a motion on,
I so move.
thank you.
Second.
All right, all those in favor for December 3rd's minutes? Aye. Okay, both of those are approved. Our next meeting is what date?
March 17th.
March 17th. Okay, so we have a little time.
Yes, we have one, obviously your table case.
Okay.
Please keep your documentation for that case.
Okay.
Should we
Since
give
it
it
was-
back to you, or should we keep it?
I think if you could, what do you think, Bree?
It's going to change. It is going to
Doesn't
change.
he owe us stuff? Okay. What? What's
He
gonna
is
change?
busy working like a little bee. I mean, he's got the whole front, he's got the office in there, he's got people in the back. I assume that he will come in with the proper
Plans.
plan. So
We
I would
can't- we
assume that
can't
it's going to
just-
change some of it.
Okay,
Yeah, we
but
can't.
just to make it clear through the chair, we can't really discuss this because it's not an open case.
Fine.
So if you, either one, if you'd like to give us them back to you
Well, we
and we'll
just all
put them
need
in
to
the
do the same
packets,
thing.
we can do that. Or if you want to keep them, it's up to the board. The board can decide.
I was going to give it back to you, and
Okay,
then you can
that's fine.
just send it back
Just put
to
them
us.
back here on Bree's desk, and we'll put them in the new packet. So we have that table case, and then we have one other residential case. It's actually good because we were intending to ask you to cancel that because we only had one case. So now we have the two cases, so it'll be fine. We'll meet on March 17th.
Okay.
Okay. All right, anybody have anything else?
I move that we adjourn.
All right, all those, can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.